guys, welcome back to our kitchen. Enjoy the recipes. Hi guys, welcome back to another recipe at our kitchen. Today I'm doing up classic chili. There's nothing better than a hot bowl of chili on a cool day. And that's what we're aiming for today. Now you may have looked at the old recipe in the book, and going by that, I kind of changed it up a little bit. I don't use all those spices, although you still can use that recipe if you still got it. But one day I was aiming to make some chili, and I had everything in the pot ready to go, and I went to get my chili powder, and when you know it, there wasn't any. So in a panic, I thought, now what am I going to do? I have to turn everything off, run to the store and buy some chili powder. Well, while I was searching through the cupboards, I found a chili mix. It wasn't this particular one, but it was a chili mix. And I thought, well, I'll go ahead and use it. And it turned out pretty good, and everybody liked it. And I thought, well, geez, that was a lot easier than mixing all them seasons from the original recipe. So from then on out, I started experimenting with these handy chili mixes. And they're only about a buck and a half or so. And there's a lot of them out there. And I'm still messing around trying to find one that's really good. But I found that the ones in the boxes are a little bit better than the pouch ones. A little bit more expensive, but they got a little bit more flavor to them. So I've kind of changed the recipe up a little bit. I don't use the original recipe that's in the books that y'all got, but so I'm using a chili mix. So I'm recommending you guys find a chili mix box that you like, and I have all your spices in it. And I see that phone thing is not going to work. Okay, interruptions galore. But everything else is pretty much the same. You're still going to need an onion, green pepper if you got it. Today I don't have very much green pepper, so I'm just going to use a little bit. The Brooks chili beans I shop now, they don't have the big can, so I got to buy 2 of the smaller cans. And I've discovered a nifty little thing with the chili, so I make a little bit extra chili, and I can get 2 meals out of it. And I'm going to clue you in on that one. So you need the extra can of that, and your stewed tomatoes, or in this case I think I just got regular diced tomatoes, and then of course your meat. And I think I'm using 1.5 pounds of ground chuck to make the pot of chili a little bit bigger. That way I can get a second meal out of it and extend the chili. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to slice up some onion, brown up the chili or the ground chuck, and get ready to open up the cans and put them in there. So right now I'm going to go ahead and dice the onion, the green pepper, and brown the ground chuck. Okay, I'm back. I got my onion diced up and the burgers in the pot. Let me show you what we got with it so far. There's my burger. It is indeed about 1.5 pounds. Now I'm going to turn that on medium high, and I'm going to chop it up really well. I don't know if you recall me telling you before, but whenever I like burger in a dish, I like it chopped up real fine. So I'm going to take a spatula, probably a hard plastic one because I'm using a metal pot. And by the way, this is pretty much a one pot meal too. You can brown your ground chuck right inside your pot and then dump all your other stuff right into it and let it simmer for an hour or so. And I'm also not going to put in the green pepper. I decided to save it for a salad for the next dinner. But I also forgot to mention that when you're making chili, spice it up any way you like. If you like a little bit spicy chili, go ahead and get some jalapenos, chop them up, put them in there. But remember, that's going to be adding heat. So if you don't want it too spicy, don't add a lot. I always put in maybe 2 or 3 jalapenos. Sometimes I'll throw in some banana peppers. It's just chili. It's not rocket science, so dress it up however you like it. But at this point, I'm going to go ahead and start the browning process. And I'm going to dump my onions in there. Pretty much, you can actually do that while you start to brown, because your onions are going to give it some nice flavor. So we'll go ahead. And this here is about maybe 3/4 cup of an onion. It's that small onion that you saw in the beginning of the film video. But I'm guessing it's about 3/4 cup. I don't really measure a lot. So I'm just going to go ahead and put all that onion right on in there. And we'll just go ahead and we'll brown up the ground chuck. Once that's browned up, we add in our other ingredients. And it's pretty much just simmer time. And this is an easy gig. It's not hard. It's fairly cheap. And it's really nice on a cool day. We always make grilled cheese to go along with it. So I'm going to probably do a side shoot just on grilled cheese. I'm sure everybody knows how to make a grilled cheese sandwich. But I use about 3 different cheeses. I've kind of gotten away from just using the Velveeta cheese or the Kraft slices. That's probably not even real cheese, processed stuff. So I use a blend of cheeses these days, and the grilled cheese are a lot better. But anyway, I'll take a side shoot on that one and show you how I do it. And this is pretty much the dinner, just a pot of chili and some grilled cheese, and it's easy to make and it's good. So we'll go ahead and we'll brown up the burger. And that's what I'll do until it's all browned up. I'll just sit here and chop it up real fine, because that's the way I like my burger in chili. Finely chopped.
Oh, cat's toy.
As long as it doesn't have a squeak.
He's got the cat's toy.
Yeah, well, I bought something for Sophia. I like wrap. My wrapping skills aren't that good.
Yeah.
Oh, you're back. I've just been sitting here chopping away at my burger. Let me show you what it looks like at this point. It's pretty well close to being done. We're just about ready to add our spices and the rest of the ingredients for the chili. Again, this is 1.5 pounds because I'm going to get 2 dinners out of this bad boy.
Butter the grist, huh?
I'm going to tell you a secret too. But you don't have to follow it if you don't want to. And that is, in the bottom of this pan is a lot of good juice. Now I know some people drain it, pour it out, but we're going to leave it in there and use it as flavoring. So if you're real health conscious and you want to get rid of the grease, go ahead and drain it. But if you want a real flavorful chili, just leave it sit in there. So at this point I'm going to go ahead and add my other ingredients. And first I'm going to put in my tomatoes. There we go. Just pour the whole can in. Give it a stir. And go ahead and add your beans. And remember, this is equal to one of the big cans, but I think it's a 30-ounce can. But where I buy now, they don't sell the big cans. And here is my extra that I'm using to stretch this meal out. Apparently I forgot to open it, so I got to take a break and open it. Okay, here's the can that I used to make this a little bit bigger. As you can see, we got a crappy can opener, so it doesn't always open the can all the way. But I also mix it up by using the hot. Now, I don't know if you can see that. But there it is, hot. And that just kind of gives it a little extra kick. The chili is actually fairly mild, but it's good. And when I was telling you, this here is about 4 jalapenos just chopped up real good. I'm going to go ahead and put them in too. Now, if you like it spicy, add more. And now getting to the chili mix, it's just the spices that you would have put in following the old directions. This one here is 2 alarm chili. And you can make it hot by adding cayenne pepper, but we can't make it too hot around here. So I probably won't add any of that. But the rest of the spices are right here, all inside this handy dandy bag. And it's a lot easier, and I found that it was really good too. And I definitely won't add this other spice. It's too hot. Let's take a look at it. And this is the spice packet going in. And now I'm just gonna stir everything in there. I also have to add some water. I think it's a cup and a half, because I've actually made this a bigger a recipe. Now, if you're following along with the old recipe out of the book, it'll say a cup of water. But I've increased this recipe because I am going to get 2 meals out of it. So I'm going to add a cup and a half. And the idea behind that is just to get you some juice in your chili, because everybody likes a nice bowl of chili. And the fake calls just keep coming all day long. So that's about a cup and a half. Let me show you what it looks like. See, the water has made it nice and pliable. It's kind of just enough to cover everything. But if you're following the directions, add an extra half a cup of water. And that is pretty much all there is to it. I'll go ahead and put a lid on it. I'll kick it up to boil it. I'll bring it down to simmer and throw the lid on, and probably let it cook for, I don't know, we're running a little bit behind. I'll let it cook for at least a half hour. If you can let it go for an hour, that's all the better, but just get it to boil, then back it down to simmer, put a lid on it and let it go for at least a half hour. And in the meantime, I'll be getting the grilled cheese ready. So we're just going to put a lid on it and let it simmer. Okay guys, I'm going to go ahead and make the grilled cheese now. The chili's looking good. It's been simmering for about, I don't know, 20 minutes. So I'm aiming to have everything together in about a half hour. first thing you gotta do is get your trusty griddle out. You know who I'm talking to. Plug it in. About 350 or so. What I do to make it easier is I'll take a tablespoon of butter and melt it in the microwave so that I can spread it all across the bread, and that way all the bread gets nice and toasted. So get yourself that. Okay, so you get your butter and you get it melted, and the griddle's getting nice and hot, so I gotta hurry up on it. Now my grilled cheese, I use 3 different blends. I use the Havarti, I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's a nice melty white cheese. I use a good old-fashioned American, which is just a typical cheese. And in between them two, I'll put some sharp cheddar. So it's a 3 blended cheese. I don't use the Velveeta stuff anymore. There's nothing wrong with it that I'm saying. You know, if you still like the Velveeta, that's cool too. Now what I do is I know how many sandwiches I'm going to make. So I'll get my bread ready. And because of my butter is liquid, I use a spoon. And I'll just go ahead and butter up the bread. Try to get it spread from end to end, because that way it toasts up really good. And of course everybody knows you do both sides. So we'll go ahead and get our bread ready. Okay, with the butter spread, I'm going to get my cheese ready to put down, because they will toast up pretty quick. And the first bit of cheese you want to work with is your American. You want to lay that down first, because that is a slower cheese to melt. But by all means, get all your cheese ready to work. So we'll go ahead and slap down 1 nice piece of cheese. 2, butter side down, by the way. Another piece of cheese. Piece of cheese. Now I always have a little bit extra, so I'll go around and maybe top it off. And that's the good thing about getting your cheese from the deli. You can tell them exactly how much you want. Now on top of this cheese, each sandwich is going to get a pile of the shredded cheddar. I'll set that right on top of the American. Like I say, that American cheese is going to be last to melt. It's a very strong cheese. It's American cheese, so it's strong. Now, on top of the shredded cheese, we're going to put our white Havarti cheese, and I can't pronounce it again, but you know what I mean. And this is a good cheese that melts really, really good. And we'll let that sit, and we'll go ahead and top the other sandwiches. And while that's toasting up, I'm going to go ahead and stir the chili one time. Remember when you're multitasking to stir that chili, otherwise it'll stick on the bottom. Toast it up real good. Flip it. Flip it. Try not to do what I'm doing and have them fall apart on you. Yeah, that's a better way to flip it. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but it toasted up really nice, and that's because we spread the butter all around, so it's kind of like a secret tip. Let's take a closer look. Oh yeah, that is going to be some good grilled cheese. This is what I'm saying about the American cheese. It's a little bit slow to melt, while the other cheese is pretty quick to melt. But if you put that on first, you shouldn't have a problem. It'll get warm and it'll all melt. So what we do now is we just wait for this side to crust up. And there's our grilled cheese sandwiches. And we'll be eating in about 5 minutes. In fact, I'll probably call everybody down. Remember how I call everybody down? That's how I do it. It's time to eat. Okay, everything's ready. The grilled cheese turned out great. Looks really good. I don't know if you can see the chili, but it looks really good too. Got some crackers, and that's it. It's your chili grilled cheese recipe. Nothing like a steaming bowl of chili on a cool, cold winter day. So, enjoy.